I think Papi is a victim. I don't think it was Papi's fault. Titanic directed Papi and Papi just followed what he wanted. Maybe Titanic is manipulating Papi too. I received a lot of comments like this on my previous video saying that Papi's innocent and that she couldn't possibly be responsible for Mars Argo's abuse. April 22nd, 5 days after the lawsuit was filed, she says, "What an exciting time. I get to live my dreams in Hollywood doing what I love." First of all, if Papi is a victim, unless Titanic is tweeting for her or he's got a gun to her head, she sure is loving it. If you haven't seen my previous video on the lawsuit, this might be a little confusing, so make sure you watch it. I'll link it in the description below. Alright, so in this video, I'm gonna be presenting my case as to why I believe that Papi is not just a creation of Titanic Sinclair's. I think it's a collaboration, and I'm also gonna be talking about why Papi is not totally innocent in the abuse and copying of Mars Argo. So first things first, Titanic and Papi are in fact dating.
What? No way!
Oh, come on, it's not that shocking.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And the reason why I say this is because I have a theory, alright? Now hear me out. My theory is that Papi had a crush on Titanic before she became that Papi, before they really teamed up and stuff, My theory is that it was her choice to resemble his ex-girlfriend in order to maybe feel attractive to him. And that's how it all started, So my theory kind of says that maybe it's not all Titanic's fault, Why are we placing all the blame on him? Perhaps it was Papi's idea to do things like his ex. Now I know this may sound like a crazy theory to some, but trust me when I say it wouldn't be the first time this has happened. From what we know through the lawsuit, Papi bleached and styled her hair like Mars Argo after meeting Mars Argo, but before evolving into the Papi that we know today. And the lawsuit also states that this was all before Titanic broke into Mars Argo's apartment, so I think we can conclude that bleaching her hair and styling it like Mars Argo was all Papi's choice. All over the comments and tweets, people have been insisting that Titanic created Papi, but if you ask me, this is kind of degrading to who Papi is, like that he directs and creates her every move. Think about it. What do you think she could have possibly been promised to give everything up?
She was promised fame.
Do you really believe that Papi is happy to follow orders like some slave? Hell no, I think she's in on it completely, and it's not too far-fetched when you think about it. I personally think that Papi is not just a creation of Titanic's. I think that Papi is also an extension of Papi's own personality. I believe that to an extent, perhaps Papi's personality is quite similar to Mars Argo's, so maybe she doesn't see anything wrong with the way she is. Check this out. I want to show you an excerpt of one of Papi's old YouTube videos. Now, this cannot be found anywhere on YouTube because Titanic and Papi have gone through great efforts to make sure any sort of existence of Papi's old personality has been taken off of YouTube. So let's hope that this video will not be taken down because I am protected by fair use law. I am simply using this video for the purpose of criticism and research. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Papi, and I like you a lot. What do you guys think of this coat? This is my favorite coat. I can do whatever I want with this coat. Look at the inside. Look at the colors. How could somebody not want this? I ask myself the same question every time I put it on.
So as you can see, old Papi already made videos in a similar vein to her current self. Perhaps that's what Titanic was attracted to. All Titanic may have contributed to the current Papi was maybe slowing it down, suggesting her may be more robotic, and adding a white backdrop and better editing.
Hi, I love you a lot. Subscribe to my channel because I love you.
I personally think that Papi has more creative control over her character than a lot of you guys give her credit for. Maybe she thinks of some of the references to Mars Argo herself. Maybe it's not even just Titanic. Now, is there anything wrong with what she's doing? Referencing and you doing things that Mars Argo would do? Legally? Maybe not. We'll have to see. Ethically? I guess that's a matter of opinion. Mars Argo certainly doesn't own bleached hair, or the Fuji school where she was learning Japanese at and chose to drop out just because Titanic and Papi later enrolled. And just because Mars Argo modeled for a brand called Little Sunny Bite, it doesn't mean Papi can't do the same. Ooh, Mars would perform with Wings in concert, doesn't mean Papi can't do the same. And sure, there are quite a few other things that Papi does or did that Mars Argo may have done first, but I'm just gonna stop myself there. So the big question, why would Papi continue to reference Mars Argo or do things that Mars would do? Now, one of the reasons why I believe that Papi is on board with taunting or doing things that Mars Argo has done is because of the way Titanic talks about Mars Argo. Titanic has publicly called Mars Argo a complete nutcase, saying that she gave up, calling her evil, saying he wrote all the music, and the list goes on of all the things he's publicly said about Mars Argo. So can you imagine the things he privately says about Mars Argo? I wouldn't be surprised if Papi's like, that girl is a bitch. Yeah, let's make her suffer. I think the one thing we can all agree on is that Titanic and Mars Argo were in a toxic relationship, and so naturally he would bring those feelings onto the next girlfriend and just unleash it, and that's why he would tweet things like that she's evil. Think about it, from Titanic's point of view, maybe Mars Argo was horrible to him. I mean, nobody just breaks into someone's house if in their point of view the other person doesn't deserve it. So maybe he unleashed those reasons, those emotions onto Papi, and that made Papi hate Mars Argo, and they both shared that hate and unleashed it onto Mars Argo cleverly through these videos, and just seem to keep getting away with it until now. And that is the basis of my theory. Also, anyone defending Titanic should take note of his own pattern of calling out those who do things similar to Papi. Here is Titanic calling out Melanie and Martinez for doing a video like Papi, and Titanic claiming Katy Perry stole one of his ideas. Obviously, this is not gonna be an easy battle for Mars Argo, especially considering the lawsuit itself states that Mars Argo was a collaborative effort between Mars and Titanic. Now, I wanna remind you that these are just my opinions, my theory. I want you guys to keep an open mind and make up your own mind, but just don't be so quick to say, oh, Papi is a victim. You have no proof of that. That's the one thing we have the least proof of. Personally, I think that Mars Argo has every right to speak for herself, considering that Titanic has been doing it for her for the past couple of years, just like I also have every right to give my opinion on YouTube, so please don't take down my video, Titanic. I know he probably hates me right now, but that is the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to keep an open mind. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see how this story develops. All right. See you guys in the next video.